quarter way through the season, though the season hasn't started yet because we haven't gotten to Thanksgiving, so keep that in mind. But we're going to look ahead at Week 5 lines regardless. We've got a couple of big games here with Kansas City and Jacksonville meeting up. I'm George Chahrouri, Eric Eager alongside, and we are brought to you as usual by mybookie.ag, the best place to take all the information you get here and put it to good use. All right, the first game that we're going to take a look at is Arizona traveling to San Francisco, where I believe they have officially buried the ashes. Actually, I think they threw the ashes over the Golden Gate Bridge. Jimmy G, no longer the quarterback. They had C.J. Beathard. He looked pretty decent, right? Yeah. Almost beat the Chargers. And he got knocked out, and Nick Mullins came in. And
who?
Yeah, exactly. So here's the funny thing about this game. Both these teams are not great. Cardinals bring Josh Rosen in. They're traveling to San Francisco, and San Francisco is a 4.5-point favorite. So the question to you is this. On a neutral field, is San Francisco a better team than Arizona?
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue that, right? Especially when you consider that Josh Rosen, even in a loss last week against Seattle, played well. He had a big-time throw on about, over 10% of his passes last week. So, I think he offers a little bit more in the way of potential here, whereas C.J. Beathard played well, but I think you sort of got his sort of like beginner's luck there against the Chargers. I think they're basically even teams, in which case this number's a bit high.
Yeah, and I would say C.J. Beathard healthy maybe is a little better. He got the you-know-what knocked out of him in that game and wasn't able to finish the game. And so I'm a little hesitant to, whether Beathard is in the right place, to begin with, even if he does play. So I think there is a great opportunity here to take a Cardinals team that probably no one thinks has played well. I don't think the box score data on Josh Rosen would lead anyone to believe that he played well, and that's why we grade every play of every game. He actually, I think, played very well, made some really nice throws. And I think the worry with Rosen is when he's under pressure, is he just going to let the ball fly? The good thing is San Francisco, not exactly the most formidable pass rush. They're just 17th in the league in pressure rate. They're allowing over 110 pass rating to the slot. So I think some areas that the Cardinals and Rosen can actually thrive in.
Yeah, in addition to Jimmy G as well, I think that when you think about these two teams, the fact is the Niners are going to miss Sherman, they're going to miss Pettis, guys like Staley, Breida, Richburg, Goodwin, all on the injury list so far. Cardinals are relatively healthy, and so again, as you said, I think the quarterback, the Cardinals have kind of a sneaky advantage there. And, I think the Niners' advantages here are a little bit overblown, namely their front four.
And I could see, I'm not sure which way necessarily this line will go, but right now at 4.5, I wouldn't expect it to jump to 5 all of a sudden. So I would go ahead and grab this one nice and early. Next up, we go to Kansas City, Jacksonville, the game of the week here. Spread is at 3. Looks like it'll be a close game. I can't argue with that. And that's why we're going to move to the total, which right now, depending on where you look, 48.5 to 49. We like the over.
Yeah, I think this plays out very similarly to Monday night, right, where the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the Denver Broncos, have a pretty good defense, kind of a conservative-ish quarterback, whereas Kansas City is still that same team, right? They have Pat Mahomes, a very dynamic offense, and a defense that leaves something to be desired to be nice. And that game, even though it played out like an under game, right? It was like 3-3 after a quarter or so, and got to halftime at about 23 points. It finished at 50, right? And 50 would go over this total. If the Chiefs are anywhere near as efficient as they could be in the first half, I think this sails over.
Here's the interesting thing. It's all about the offenses here. The Jacksonville offense is, in my opinion, a top half offense at least. We have them 15th in our offensive rankings. The Chiefs are at number 1. And I see no reason why the Jaguars can't put up points. They will put up points against this Chiefs defense. Case Keenum put up points against this Chiefs defense. So that is not a concern of mine. And I think there's an opportunity here to sort of fade what most people will think, which is, the Jaguars are missing Leonard Fournette, top 5 pick Leonard Fournette. That actually makes me far more bullish on the over here because now they're going to play guys that can catch the passes. I would love the Jaguars to jump out here. At home, Pat Mahomes will not be denied.
Yeah, and I think that, like our previous video this week, we're talking about play action, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars, without Fournette, probably will run more play action. The Kansas City Chiefs, their linebackers, Reggie Ragland, Anthony Hitchens, have given up a lot in coverage. Bortles is very good at those crossers. He's very good at the tight end. He's very good at the backside of the backfield. So I really do think that this matches up well for Jacksonville to score a lot of points. And that's all that Pat Mahomes needs to put himself in position to do his end of the bargain here.
The Jaguars' defense is good. but they are not so great that they're going to stop the best offense from putting up points at home when they need to. So the over is the play here. Before we get to our next game, I want to tell you a little bit about mybookie.ag. I want to tell you a little bit about mybookie.ag. If you have not yet found a place that you can trust to make some good investments, to put all the information you get at PFF to good use, mybookie.ag is the best place to do that. So make sure you check it out. Mybookie.ag offers all the bet types you could want: spreads, totals, individual fantasy players, if that's your thing. They have in-game live betting, which is a must. I can't tell you how many times I personally have used that. We use it every week. We love it. Make sure you check it out. Use promo code PFF to get a $1 for $1 match on your first deposit. PFF plus mybookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. Last up, we've got the Houston Texans welcoming in their interstate friends. Well, maybe not. The Dallas Cowboys. Right now, the Texans favored by 3, and that is too high. You want to know why?
Why?
The running game.
Cut.
I'm kidding. The reason that this one sticks out to me is the Cowboys' ability to cover the pass. Deshaun Watson destroyed whatever you want to call the Colts' attempt at playing coverage last week. I don't think they've discovered a name for it quite yet, but this week he gets one of the best pass defenses in the NFL, most notably Byron Jones, the best cornerback that we've seen so far this season, the highest PFF grade. Matt Stafford didn't even throw the ball his way last week. He's going to be on DeAndre Hopkins, I would assume, quite a lot this week. You neutralize Hopkins a little bit. The rest of that defense is solid. I think that's a huge advantage. I know that's a huge advantage for the Cowboys. There's just no way you're convincing me that on a neutral field, the Cowboys aren't a better team.
Yeah, and it's not only that they're solid everywhere around the defense, is that, DeMarcus Lawrence is a truly great edge player. Sean Lee being out used to scare us, but now we have Leighton Vander Esch, a first-round pick. He covered really well. And, Houston's offensive line has basically been a sieve so far. So I think that side of the ball really matches up well to keep this game in the 20s, even in the teens. And in that situation, I like Dallas.
You mentioned the Dallas defense. Love the Dallas defense. People are going to like taking the Texans here because of the Dallas offense. Gets a pretty bad rap. But here's the thing. The Dallas offense needs to throw the ball deep. They have to. And the Texans can't cover anybody. So if there's an opportunity here for Dallas to start to get on a roll, to use that play-action passing game, we have a video on that if you want to know how important the play-action passing game is. In their wins, they have just dominated off of play-action. I expect them to do more of that here. Their offensive line played really well last week. I'd expect that to continue against a team that, look, they have great pass rushers, but overall have not generated a ton of pressure in the Texans. So this one, whether it's in the 20s, it's in the 20s, I love Dallas. Even if it gets up a little more high scoring, I still think this Cowboys team can hang with them. Dallas, no way should they be a 3-point dog here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, if you look at the past games, I think Houston is a team that people love going into the season. They finally win a game, and people overreact, kind of the self-fulfilling prophecy here. I think this is a great place to back an underdog in Dallas.
Here we go, Dallas.